Now let's get right to Democratic Senator from New Jersey, Andy Kim. Senator, thank you so much for speaking with us. In your state of New Jersey, more than 800,000 people who rely on SNAP benefits could lose their federal assistance this week. The official website, you may know this already, the official website of the USDA explains the situation this way. I'm going to read this quote. Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program. Bottom line, the well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. So basically, the USDA is placing the blame for the loss of benefits squarely on Democrats. What's your response to that?
Well, first and foremost, the actions that we continue to see from this administration are just plain cruel. First of all, there's a $5 billion contingency fund, emergency fund that could be used for this exact purposes to try to make sure that 40 million Americans who are on the cusp of going hungry are able to continue to get food and support through these challenging times. And this is something that is completely expected by this administration, because we saw earlier this year with the reconciliation bill that they passed, efforts that would basically cut $200 billion, upwards of $200 billion from SNAP over the years. This has been something that they've been trying to cut and gut for a long time. So they are gleeful about the effort right now to do harm to so many Americans.
Yeah, the situation is becoming more and more difficult for so many Americans. So at the root of the shutdown is, of course, the debate over health insurance affordability. So what impact are rising costs having on New Jersey families? And do you see any chance of reaching a resolution on this with the Republican leadership?
Well, we need to, because I literally just about an hour ago received a memo from the state of New Jersey that is showing the prices now for what's to come. And what it showed is a 174% increase in healthcare costs from last year. I mean, this is absolutely catastrophic for so many families. I talked with a woman, Lucinda, who told me that there's no way that she's going to be able to afford her health care, that this is something that'll be devastating for her and her family. These are the types of stories that are happening, not just in New Jersey, but all over this country. A number of Republicans support extending these subsidies. It's just that Speaker Johnson is preventing them from even being here in D.C. for negotiations. You know, this is a dereliction of duty and an abdication of leadership.
And speaking of the president, since the shutdown began, we've seen several instances of the Trump administration halting funds for state infrastructure projects. So in New Jersey, the fate of a particular project to build rail lines under the Hudson River connecting to New York, that is now in question. How is this impacting the state of New Jersey and others facing similar situations?
You're absolutely right. This project is one of the largest construction projects in the world. It's not only important for New York and New Jersey, it's important for the entire country. This would be economically catastrophic if we ever lose rail traffic down the east coast of the United States. So this is something of national importance. And the fact that Donald Trump is willing to say he terminates this funding for this rail project that is of such importance, it's just so damaging, and it's hurting so many people and so many families. I mean, this is these kind of mob boss tactics. People can't stand this. The idea that he's using taxpayer dollars for political retribution and revenge. For the amount of money he just sent down to Argentina, we can fund this project and be able to make sure that we're securing our infrastructure.
I want to turn now to next week's elections and the New Jersey governor's race. We were speaking earlier. My kids are invested in this race right now. We live in New Jersey. Democrat Mikey Sherrill is running against three-time gubernatorial hopeful and Republican Jack Ciattarelli. New Jersey, as you know, swung to the right in 2024. Donald Trump came within 6 points of taking the state. Could we see New Jersey turn red?
Well, I was just back in New Jersey over the weekend, did a dozen events across the state. And what I can tell you is that the energy is there. They know the damage that is being done by Donald Trump. The number of voters, including independent voters, they came up to me complaining about what Trump did to the Gateway Tunnel, or the fact that right now they're struggling with affordability, and Trump is somebody who's made matters worse. I've said to them, Trump has made billions of dollars for his family since January 20th. How much has your family made? And they know that Jack Ciattarelli is just going to open the door for Donald Trump if he's governor.
Well, with Election Day right around the corner, we will see how that race plays out. And hopefully there's some resolve there on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much, Senator Andy Kim. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.